Assalamu alaikum. Salam, guys. Whoever's there. AN it is. Salam. Who else is here? Wa alaikum assalam, KDE. What's going on, man? Alhamdulillah, I'm all right. I'm good. I was feeling in the mood for doing a live today. So I just said, okay, why not? Let's just do it. Let's see, is anyone else? So, KD, are you here, bro? What's going on? Exams, yeah. I just started college. So, yeah, it's a bit long now, man. But yeah, I just started college a few weeks ago. So there's a lot of, compared to school, there's a lot more work. But yeah. Come on, anyone else who's gonna join? I'm just kind of waiting for a question, bro. Anyone to ask a question? Yeah, what are you thinking about doing in college? What are you thinking about doing, like, as in to study? Yes, that's actually a good question. Yo, bro, talk about French Revolution. Got that chapter in social. This time, okay. All right, calm. You want me to talk about the French Revolution? So basically, the French Revolution occurred in 1789. Obviously, Napoleon. Wait, let me answer AN Edit's question first. So, what's your plan for future videos? I think right now, like, I've just made a video about Muhammad Ali. That was like a video that's, I think, is going to try and set a new tone for my channel, where I don't want to just focus on Ottoman, Seljuks. I don't want to be restricted just to that type of history. I want to keep an Islamic history or just like stuff like that. I think I was thinking about making a video about Malcolm X, but that's a very like touchy subject. But I think I might make one about a video about Malcolm X because that's a very interesting topic, and I'm sure like a lot of people would like to see that type of video. I'm also thinking about making videos about what was I literally just lost my train of thought. I was also thinking about making videos about Mimar Sinan, who was like the architect of all these beautiful buildings in Turkey. He was living at the time of Sultan Suleiman, Suleiman the Magnificent. I was thinking about making a video, but again, that's another one that is a bit of a touchy subject. I want to keep going into like modern history as well because I don't want to be like restricted, as I said. But yeah, man, that's what it is so far. So okay, the quick thing about French Revolution, it happened in 1789, where they deposed. I believe it was Louis the 16th, King Louis the 16th. This is all from memory, bro. I haven't even studied the French Revolution in school. I'm just remembering, I just remember some stuff about it. So from my knowledge, it happened in 1789, and they deposed King Louis. the 16th, and it was something that was building up for a long time. Like at that time, when you see, I think the British Revolution, which is the first revolution in terms of it set the tone in Europe. So it happened, I think, 1640, and that's when Oliver Cromwell like revolutionized the way that the country is run. Instead of it being by a sole monarchist, it should be constitutional. And in France, it was Napoleon who basically just deposed. It was him and a lot of other people, and he had like a massive following, and he had his people's love because he was like, I want to make France. I don't want France just to control a bit of land here and there. He wanted to make France a true player on the main stage. To be fair to him, he did. Like, look at France, like the French Empire before and after Napoleon. Compared to like after Napoleon, it's ridiculous. Compared to after Napoleon, like to before he came in charge, like they took a lot of parts of um Africa. Like they went and took Egypt, man. Like they took Egypt basically. They went and no, Louis the 16th was the last monarch, right? I wait, let me. I don't know if you're right, bro. I think you might be right. I can't lie. Did he come after? Because Napoleon didn't Louis the 16th die in um Louis the 16th. Let's see. Louis the 16th died in 1793. Yeah, so they deposed him. They didn't kill him after. They didn't kill him straight away. They first deposed him, and then Napoleon took charge. Yeah, he was the last king, right? The revolution took place in 1789. I might be bugging here, but that's what I thought. KD, what do you have to say? Like, you can talk about Napoleon. We can talk about like how he went on and just did a madness across Europe. He basically claimed to cause war with almost every single European nation. He went to war with England, Spain, Belgium. I don't think actually went to war with Spain. Holland was on his side, so Netherlands were on his side, so they didn't go to whatever. And what the British actually did is they used the Napoleonic Wars as a way to gain more land as well. I don't know if it's still. Hello, can you guys hear me? No, but yeah, from my understanding, isn't the whole revolution, it took place during Louis XVI rule, and then he was deposed basically, and he was still alive until like 1793 or something. Okay, that's actually good. That's the thing. French Revolution, yeah, it doesn't get talked about much. We were supposed to study it for my A level course, but they decided to give a different. They decided to give English Revolution instead. Any other questions, man? Any other questions from anyone? Even if it's just about anything. If it's about my life, go on. Any question? Any questions, guys, from anyone about anything? There you go. That's a good question. I chose to study philosophy, and so that's yeah. So philosophy, history, and economics. So obviously history is my main choice one, but economics is quite interesting, and I'm linking. What I'm starting to do is I'm linking all of these topics together. So I'm linking history, philosophy, and economics all together. It's quite interesting, man. But that's actually at least a good question. I like that question. Anything else? The way that I do, okay, favor. Oh, okay, there you go. That's a good question. Islamic philosopher or Western philosopher? If you just say general as a general question, that is a very tough one. I would say there's a few. Imam Ghazali is up there. Ibn Sina's up there. Uh, Obviously, you have like Aristotle and Plato, but to be honest, I think Thomas Aquinas. I prefer Thomas Aquinas's philosophy compared to Platonic and Aristotelian, mainly because you can see that there's actually like a religious perspective with Aristotelian and Platonic, especially more so the former Aristotelian. He always like hints that there's a god. Like his whole like basis of philosophy was there's a prime mover, right? But he didn't know what that was. With Aquinas, he was obviously a fan of both of them, but he went and put it through a religious perspective, so then you can actually see the whole philosophy. So with Aquinas, you can see there's a religious aspect to it. He used his religion to form that. I prefer him to Aristotle and Plato, but if I'm honest, I think Imam Ghazali is a really good one. But what I like about him is how he actually. Some people say he ended the Islamic philosophical golden age, just because his philosophy led to a more orthodox form of Islam. But I disagree because I think with Imam Ghazali, his whole philosophy's aim was just like at the time as well. The Fatimids had just taken Egypt. Like there was a rise in the Shia Islam, there's a rise in the Batini, there's a rise of all these different um, sects of Islam. What Imam Ghazali did is he came in and he just said he made a whole book. I think it was like the ignorance of these philosophers, because he was saying like all these philosophers they might act good, but really they're just doing all this stuff for the fame. Because he was a high position. He went on Hajj, he went and did all these things. So he kind of took a break from philosophy and he came back into it. That's what I kind of like about Imam Ghazali. With Ibn Sina, it's like if you just read anything about him, you'll know he's just a different character. He's just a different person, man. Him and Ghazali actually like not had a fight or anything like that, but like there's like quite a lot of differences when you look into their philosophy. And with other philosophers that you might know, like Immanuel Kant, I really dislike his philosophy. Like Immanuel Kant's whole philosophy is that there's like a set of rules, right? Like, you can't break any rule. But like, yeah, that might sound good in some perspective, like some aspects, like you can't break the law or whatever. But it's like there's this common analogy drawn is if an axeman came to your house looking for your friend and your friend's in the back and you knew the axeman wanted to kill your friend, will you tell the axeman where your friend is? According to Kant, you have to tell him where. Um, you have to tell him where this guy is. You have to tell him where your friend is because you can't lie because that's breaking a moral law. That's why I don't like Immanuel Kant's philosophy as much because it's not like in religion as well. Like if you look at uh, Aquinas' philosophy, they allow certain things, but that one was what's it called Kant's philosophy is just too extreme in my opinion. When did you start taking an interest in history? That's a good question. If you want me to give an honest answer, I probably started taking an interest in history when I was like 3 years old. So that's like, I know you're gonna be like, that's not real, whatever. It's not like um an interest in, oh, I need to go study everything about this. It's just an interest in, I started liking some aspects of history. Like when you're three, it's like my whole house, like some of my family members, they studied history at like university or whatever. So I kind of knew the environment of history when I was from a young age. So that's when I started taking interest, probably when I was 3, 4 years old even. But when I started getting interested in Islamic history, actually happened much later, when I was maybe 12. That's when I started taking interest in Islamic history, like proper. I knew a bit about Islamic history, like, but only about the Prophet and stuff like that. And that's like, I didn't know about the Prophet, Sahaba and stuff. My interest in Islamic history began, when I was 12, but just before I started watching Ertugrul, because I started listening to a lot of talks by people about the lives of the Sahaba, and then I started watching Ertugrul, and then I just got into it like that. Like all this stuff came together at the right time, where I just started getting a proper interest in history. And it's not something where it's like because there's been parts of my life where I've really not liked history, where it's like, it's got so boring. Because I can understand why people say some parts of history are boring. When you're learning about Henry VIII having Henry VIII having 6 wives, it's getting boring because you're just learning the same thing, and you're like, why is this? But when you look at true history, like one of my friends, he said it and he put it in a really good way. He's like, history, you shouldn't have boundaries in history. Like it should just be there shouldn't be anything stopping it. It should just be pure history. Like you shouldn't have mark schemes or examiner reports and stuff. History is history, and you can't change that. So why are you going to try and change how people perceive it? Something, he said something really good about that, and that's why I respect it. Any other questions? I like the philosophy question. Anything else about philosophy? Because studying philosophy is quite an interesting topic. I would recommend it for anyone who's doing A levels in the future. History as well. History is getting really interesting. The only problem I have with history is right now we're just studying the British and Russian Revolution, and they're not that great. Like Russian Revolution is quite interesting. The British is all about scandals, a scandalous society, and I don't like it that much. Any other question? This is more of a chilled chilled live, because I don't have I've restricted a lot of people from joining, so I don't have like 10, 12 people. I like it when it's like just a small amount, but I want questions quick. AN, Astana, KDE, anyone who's there, just ask me a question about anything. Any questions at all? Kardeşler. Oh, Descartes. Sorry. Oh, I hate pronouncing his name. Descartes. Yeah, I know Descartes. Descartes. That's what it was. Descartes. He did the second. He did an ontological argument where he basically did something similar to what's his name, Anselm. Yeah, I know about Descartes. So I was actually studying that recently. I don't really like his philosophy that much. Like as a person, he seems alright, but as the philosophy that he's putting forward, I don't really rate as much compared to other philosophers. Even Anselm, I prefer Anselm's ontological argument to Descartes, because it's just, I don't know. I think Descartes' philosophy compared to, because when Anselm, you can see like a clear. I guess both of them are quite similar, but I don't know. And also Descartes came like 400 years later, 600 years later, compared to Anselm. But yeah, I think he's a good philosopher as well. I like him. He's good, but his philosophy itself isn't that great in my opinion. What are your hobbies? I play football. What do you know about medicine and history? I have an exam coming about that. Yeah, okay, calm. I'll help you about that in a second. If you guys ever need help in like GCSE history, just let me know. I can help. I've if you want, I'll give my I know how to do GCSE history. If you give me like your specification, whatever. What are your hobbies? So I play football every weekend. I also just love playing and watching football in general. I obviously do history videos like that YouTube. I play FIFA. I play video games on PS4. And apart from that, like I spend a lot of time with my family. I've been going gym recently. But this is literally what I've just been doing in the last few days. Yes, I've been going gym recently, so I'm trying to start getting into gym and getting to my fitness. Been playing football obviously every week. Except for this week, actually, it's cooled off, so I can go because of all the rain. It's been raining so much; it's crazy in the rain. And yeah, apart from like history, like before history, I was obsessed with football and Marvel. Marvel, I really like. I really enjoy like watching Marvel movies and stuff. I also enjoy reading. I not only just history books. I've had to do a lot of A-level reading. So I've been reading like The Economist to learn about economics. And they haven't even given it. I'm just trying to do extra reading just so I'm ahead of stuff. So I try to be ahead of everything so I don't fall back. Obviously, I'll be doing my namaz, alhamdulillah. And yeah, I've just been making new friends at college and stuff like that. I try not to do. Obviously, you have to have a balance in your life. So whenever I try to make a video, I try to get like one video a week. And right now, I think I only did that a few times because it's been kind of hard. When I do lives, I think it's easy because I can just hop on and then go whenever I need to. But with videos like that Muhammad Ali video took like 5 hours to make, and it takes up a lot of time. And I did it on a day where I didn't have any homework to do, so I just quickly just made a video. But yeah, apart from that, I also am studying Arabic, so I'm trying to learn Arabic, trying to learn a bit of Turkish as well. So I'm doing Turkish lessons, not Turkish lessons, but I'm studying a bit of Turkish. My friend's helping me, and Arabic lessons I'm doing 4 times a week, 3 times a week. So I'm doing Arabic 3 times a week, football once a week. We're going gym. I'm trying to go to gym 4 times a week as well. Making videos once a week, and then going to school every day. It's struggling. I've got a wedding tomorrow as well, so it's a bit long, but what can you do? What do you know about medicine and history? I have an exam coming about that. So we start in, I believe they start like what the main thing about history and medicine and history, you can just talk about how they relied upon a religion, so like they would be like before the Renaissance, even in the Renaissance, they would rely a lot on religion. So Christianity, they would be praying, and obviously in England, because obviously that society has changed, that's a bad thing. You can't just pray and hope. Obviously, you have to have medicine and everything, but here you can't pray and hope. It's not acceptable. So they have prayer. You can say that. You can say that they use the 4 humors. So the 4 humors is when there's like, I can't even remember. It's like blood, yellow bile, black bile, and I think it was mucus or something. I think it was something like that. And it's like if you have too much of it, you have to get rid of it. And then you can talk a bit about that. But the questions in history, like GCSE, it's a bit like it's hit or miss. You can either, but the thing about what I like about history and essay writing in general compared to maths or science is in maths or science, if you mess up one thing, you can't get back. If you don't know the formula for maths or you don't know the formula for science, there's no way you're getting the mark. With history, you can kind of waffle your way out of any issue and get into the right thing. So you can always, even if you don't know too much, if you know a bit of information, you can always just get into the right spots. I'll probably do this for another 6 minutes. If more people keep asking questions, then I'll carry on for a bit longer. But any other questions? AN Edits, Astana, Geeta, anyone? Anyone? I missed a question. Seneca. When can we see your face? Thing is, yeah. Okay, wait. What's fine to start your channel? This channel. All right. So obviously, my first channel I had with Unknown Past. We had Seljuk Sultan Brothers. Some things happened, falling outs happened, friendships end, whatever. And he made his own channel. He had his own channel for a while, whatever. And then I was kind of like, I don't want to just be reliant on Seljuk Sultan Brothers. I want to start making my own. I don't want to be limited. I just want to make whenever I want to make a video, I just want to make it. I don't want to be limited by a schedule or whatever. So I was like, okay, screw it. Make my own channel, Forgotten History, and it's done really well, alhamdulillah. Like, so much better than my other channel has done. So I'm proud to have made, I think I've only made like 13 videos compared to my other channel where I have like 25 or whatever. Where it's not even just my channel, it's 100 plus channel as well. But this channel was mainly started just like, the thing is, with history, if you have an interest in it, there's so many ways you can just start making videos about it. Like when I first started making videos, I was like, I really like history, but there's no videos about Mansa Musa, which is unbiased. There's no videos about whatever, like Kurullah Osman being historically accurate. There's no video. There's barely any videos about it. There's no videos about the history of Plevna Marsi. There's a few videos. Obviously, Muhammad Ali, there's gonna be more videos, but I was like, I just want to make a video about Muhammad Ali because that's what I want to show, that I know. I don't know just Islamic history, a certain period in Islamic history. I know. I'm trying to expand to all types of history as well. And with this, like Columbus and Islam, that is probably like the staple of my channel. But not many people have watched it. But that is probably like that's the video that I was researching for a long time. There's a whole book that I was reading about it. It's called The Ottoman Sultan Who Shaped the Modern World. And that book that I read, it took me like so long to read. Only because I had exams and stuff, so I was doing exams. But I was trying to read that book as well. And that book that I read, it was basically like, I need to make a video about this because it's such an unknown forgotten topic. No one knows about Columbus and Islam. I mean, you said Christopher Columbus, no one will know that he's linked to Islam. So it's like, you can't just forget about Islamic history at all. Like, everyone forgets about it. No one knows about it. There's 1 minute videos on Vox about it. No one cares. No one's going to watch that. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to take this. And even if one person, like AN Edits, Arslan Edits, there's 4 people on this live right now. Have you guys learned anything from my videos? If you have, then I'll continue. Only if one person says yes, I'll continue. Because that's the whole point of my aim. My whole aim wasn't to get 700 subs or just to make videos about random stuff. It's the whole point is to just revive Islamic history and just let even if one person knows something, learns something new, and then has that inspiration. This is my history, Islamic history. This is my history. That's all that matters, man. Like that's why I made this whole channel. It's not because I want subs, not because I want fame, not because I want likes, dislikes, whatever. It's because I want people to learn. It's because I want people to resonate with history. When you hear about Henry VIII having 6 wives, you think you can relate to that? Oh, look, I'm Henry VIII, I had 6 wives, go to the pub. No. It's like, if you learn the fact that there was an Islamic golden age, if you learn the fact that Mansa Musa, a Muslim, was the richest man in the world, that will help you resonate with your history. So that's the whole point. That's the reason I'm doing this whole channel. It's just to help people resonate with history and like be like, hey, we did a lot of good stuff. Like we're not just someone who's done nothing in our entire lives. Like Islamic history is very broad. It's a very broad topic, and I'm trying to cover as much of it as possible. But it's like, I have to go for it, isn't it? And who inspired my channel was probably like Al Muqaddama. Al Muqaddama, one of the biggest inspirations for my channel. Like I was watching his videos since when he first started, when he made the Arab slave trade video. Him and like a few others, Ottoman History Hub as well. All these people, like now I'm talking to them as well. It's like I talk to them here and there, and it's like this person was inspiring me to make a whole channel about Islamic history. And it's not just that, it's the fact that I was kind of in a period where in lockdown I just rammed out Islamic history. Like in lockdown I was like this. I made a whole series about all 5 caliphs, or all 5 caliphates that were like 10 minutes each that you'll never see because I made it a year ago, or a year and a half, 2 years ago nearly. Like no one will ever see that, but that's okay because I'm not making videos for just for glory or just for views. I'm making videos for people to learn. So that's what it's about. I think I went on a bit of a rant about that. When can we see your face? If I always say innit? If I hit 300 subs before October ends, before November, if I hit 300 subs, I'll do a face reveal. I'm saying that right now. Because, like, I don't want to just do a face reveal just because, like, I can do that now, but it's like, there's no point, really. I might as well just do a face reveal when I find, like, it'll help my channel grow. It's like, as I said, there's me showing my face isn't going to help anyone learn. You know what I mean? Like the whole point of this channel is so people will learn, but me showing my face isn't going to help anyone learn history. If anything, it'll deteriorate. The people are like, oh, I'm not watching this brown kid. I'm not going to learn history from him. I'm joking, but that's literally. I don't think that there's need for Facebook. Also, I can just imagine the memes, and I don't want to be a part of those memes, like those meme pages where they just have like loads of people's faces. Nah, I'm not about that life. On a scale of 1 to 10, out of a scale of 1 to 10, how strong was Timur, like with power and all? Good question. Very good question. I would say Timur would have maybe 6, 7 out of 10. 6, 7 out of 10. He was really powerful at some points. Like, but overall, when he died, like we can't just say Timur was powerful. Like when he died, his whole empire fell apart. Like it wasn't that great because if he was that powerful, his whole empire wouldn't have fallen apart because he would have been able to teach his family, his friends, all others people about history, about how to run a state. But no one did that. Any other questions? Any other questions from anyone? Let's see. Any more questions? Osman says, why is Islamic history so forgotten? That is an insanely good question. Probably the question. Actually, no, it's one of the best questions we've had. Islamic history is forgotten because it didn't take over the modern world. That's genuinely, I think, the best answer I can give out of it. Like, Islamic history is not forgotten because it's bad. It's not forgotten because it's fake. It's not forgotten because it's a terrible history to learn. It's forgotten because if, for example, the Muslims or the Umayyads or the Abbasids had taken France, had taken England before they became large empires, before they colonized the entire world, basically, virtually the entire world, then Islamic history wouldn't be forgotten. Because the history will be in reality. It's not something that they're learning now. And I think it's also the fear of people wanting to resonate with their past. Because with us, look, there's 2 billion Muslims in the world, guys. There's 2 billion Muslims. And I guarantee you that 80% of them, maybe no, 60% of them know about their past. 40% don't know about their past, don't know about the history of Islam. But that 40% is too much. And that 40% is mostly in England, in France, in America. I'm not saying that because they should leave those countries. It's because it's a different society there. It's a whole, like, they're not going to learn about Islamic history there, which is fair enough. But it's like they don't even know anything about it. That's my issue. Like there's nothing that they teach about it. That's like a genuine issue I have. Like I'm in the UK. There's nothing about Islamic history. Like I even asked my teacher, I was like, look, sir, we're learning about medicine in the 1200s, where right now, in the 20th century, 21st century, 200 years ago, the medicine and the care for people would be the same in the 8th century in the Abbasid Caliphate, or in the Islamic Golden Age, or in the 10th century in the Islamic Golden Age. Why are we not learning about the fact that medicinal practices and the whole the game of medicine changed in the Islamic world? Because it's the history. What I don't like about that is because they put that in a Western perspective. And this is not just me saying. Many historians have said this. too many things are very westernized, and it's not a bad thing all the time, but it's like sometimes we just gotta accept that we gotta say like, hey, we did a lot of stuff for medicine, we did a lot of stuff for the laws, we did a lot of stuff for this and that, but it's just not remembered because we're just learning about Henry VIII having 8 wives. We're learning about the scandals, James the First, Charles having an affair with his right hand man, or James the First having an affair with his right hand man, and we're learning about all these stuff that we're not learning about the truth. Like, if this is why I don't, the medicine is not civil England and civil war. If we're learning England and civil war and there's no Islamic history, fine. I can understand that because it's England and civil war. When we're learning about medicine as a topic, why are we learning about how it was developed in the Arab world and taken throughout the world through there? That was where the heart of the medicine happened. Not in the Renaissance, not through this web. Obviously, that helped in the Western world, but medicine as like it's a thing. Like, we should learn about how it improved there. Oh, we have 6 people now. Ask any question. I just went on a bit of a rant about why Islamic history is so forgotten. Thanks, Osman, for the question. Any other questions? Big Lala is back in the house. When I saw 6, I was like, maybe it could be normal people, but why did it have to be Lala Rashid? I might have to block you from the streams, unless you just start asking proper questions, bro. All right, let's see. Big Baron is back. Oh my god, Lala Rashid is like Dio or something, isn't it? Oh god. Okay. No, I was answering a question about Islamic history. Okay, let's see what Lala Rashid says. It says, is it true Genghis Khan died of cancer? No. Most people say he died from like falling off a horse. But some people say like malaria, and some people say an arrow, and some people say other stuff. But maybe people say cancer. But I don't think he died of cancer, because cancer wasn't even a thing back then, really. Like, come on. So that Turgut thing in Osman, some people say that maybe historically not the same Turgut from Ertugrul that conquered Inagal. The way that these people just baited us there, I can't lie. The way that Bosdag baited all of us with Turgut. Everyone thought, oh, look, Turgut out back, Turgut baiting, whatever. And it was just some random guy named Turgut. That's what I don't like. But that's okay. Turgut is the man who conquered Inagal. He lived for 125 years. There are some comments on my video about Turgut saying that he didn't live for 125 years. But my research, it's clear that he did. Like, at least it's in legend that he did. Really, we can never know, like, if this person lived for 125 years. He lived, 800 years ago, man. 700 years, sorry. How are we going to tell if he lived for 125 years? But for most sources, it seems that he's lived because of Osman. He helped Osman. He was with Ertugrul. He's probably closer in age to Ertugrul. He's a few years younger. What the hell is that question? I might have to block Lala Rashid, but it's calm. But it was mainly because I don't think they're going to get Turgut out back. If I'm honest, I don't think Turgut's coming in, Osman. Sorry to burn everyone's really a 90-year-old man. You have to remember, it's not him just like by himself. It's not him going to a castle by himself as a 90-year-old, going to a castle and then conquering it. It's him with many soldiers. It would be like Suleiman Shah conquering remember when he conquered what's it called? I can't even remember. The Templars Castle in season 1. How he was like just outside and then those people went and conquered it. Probably something similar to that. But also it's like Osman didn't just send Turgut by himself, he sent Turgut and his army. Turgut, it was guaranteed win. Like, their army was massive. It's a massive size, so it's not going to be something that's small that's not going to be able to conquer a castle, like conquer Inagal. It's not a castle, it's a whole city basically. It's a small town, Inagal. But yeah, a castle would basically, back then, a castle would be, the main castle would be the city. Any other questions? I want to end it in 4 minutes. So you have 4 minutes to ask any questions. Yo, Asham. What's going on, bro? You have 4 minutes to ask any questions. By the way, he just retracts the statement. Ask a question. Who was the best Ottoman Sultan in your opinion? 2 sultans. First one, Sultan Muhammad al-Fatih, or Fatih Sultan Mehmed, as people know him. Easily the best sultan in my opinion. But some people say Suleiman al-Kanuni. But I don't think Suleiman al-Kanuni did as much as Fatih Sultan Mehmed for the state as a whole, because Fatih Sultan Mehmed conquered the unconquerable, man. He did so much for the empire. But compared to Suleiman al-Kanuni, who did also a lot for the empire, I think Fatih Sultan Mehmed just is the better sultan in general. Also, if you look at the timings of both of them, Mehmed did, because Suleiman the Magnificent, I'm explaining this in a terrible way. Suleiman the Magnificent, his father set the foundation of his rule because he conquered. His father, Selim the First, is so underrated. Suleiman the Magnificent, his father set the foundation for his empire. Selim the First is really, 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 really underrated. No one cares about him, but he conquered Egypt, he conquered Mesopotamia, he conquered a lot of land, but no one even counts it. But he's kind of underrated. But I can understand he only lived for 8 years when he was Sultan. Suleiman the Magnificent might be a slightly overrated, but he's also a great Sultan. Sultan Abdul Hamid II, very great Sultan. I think up there. So I think the top 4 would be Mehmed, then Abdul Hamid, then Suleiman, and then what's it called? Selim. What's your thoughts on Selim versus Genghis? I don't know what that is. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't know what Selim versus Genghis is, bro. 8 people watching now. That's not bad, but they're probably just people on just bots in it like Cherkotay out. And one thing people criticize Yavuz is for fighting. Yeah, because he. Oh, sorry, Turkish. I apologize. Because they were basically a corrupt state at the time. The Mamluks, they were corrupt, but him killing Muslims needlessly, I don't think he killed anyone outside of the battlefield. But he's not certain which base. It's okay, you're being better than EBS. Hold on. Bad questions popping up randomly, and they're all most of them pointless. The problem with the Mamluks is they got loads of random people to come and just be part of the battle, but a lot of those people were just commoners, and as soon as guns were fired, they escaped the battle and they just ran away. That meant the Mamluks didn't have near enough big force to defeat the Ottoman Empire. What's it called? Sultan Selim versus Genghis Khan. If they had an open battle, Genghis Khan would win. I'm sorry, Genghis Khan was just too powerful. He managed to just like conquer the whole world, man. Like Genghis Khan is so powerful, ridiculously powerful. Thoughts on Utbey's sayings retirement? Sad to hear. Do you think Hezbollah will play Turgut? No. Thoughts on KO being better than Yanush Biksetko and Barbaros? Or Yanush Biksetko is better than both those shows? Thoughts on Dora the Explorer? God, what is that question? Will Suleiman Shah come back? No, he's dead. I heard Togay glues his head back together in season 3. No. Hashtag make Hezbollah Turgut. Hezbollah is my Turgut. Boycott Cengiz. Bring back Hezbollah. Hezbollah is a great guy. But I know that's you, Dia. Rodney Jr. Sebastian Fuller. Is Squidward gonna take over again, Joby? And at that And at that bombshell, I just want one question. That's good. Yeah, I'm sorry, Arsenal. The Arsenal haven't lost actually in like the last 4 games, but today was such a disappointing match to watch, man. I hated watching it. We weren't playing well enough, man, to win against a team which is doing very well at the moment. Like, Brighton are still doing very well, but I really expected Arsenal to win against them because we were on such a good run. One last question to end all questions. Sorry, Turkish again. Okay, I swear I'm not answering that, Turkish. I swear I'm not answering that, bro. What do you think of SpongeBob? That's my childhood. Have you seen the promos? Oh, there we go. That's a good question. But I don't think that will be the one that I'll end on. Have you seen the promos of KO? I heard they have Turgut, but they're showing a new character. Yeah, these guys. Okay. Okay, there we go. Yes, I have seen the promos of KO, and Turgut is not going to be Turgut. It's going to be another random character, and it won't be. Unfortunately, for all our Ertugrul fans out there, it's not going to be Cengiz Koskun. It's not going to be Ertugrul. The Turgut of Ertugrul. Turgut Bey might come back, inshallah. We're all hoping he will come back, but right now I don't think he will come back. Malhun is portrayed as a bad wife of Osman, but in reality it would be Bala, right? No. Look, the whole thing is, man, this is just a show. Like, it's gonna portray drama. It's gonna want to show, oh look, Bala. In reality, yeah, Osman would marry Malhun and Bala at the same time, and not even like there wouldn't be any conversation. The way it's showing them as like very like it's like I don't want to upset them. Like, they would accept the marriage, second marriage. It was very common at the time, but they're just showing it's all about the romanticization. Like, this is not going to happen in modern society. But the whole point is this show isn't in modern society. If they show Henry VIII, I'll keep going back to this analogy, but if they show Henry VIII getting married to 6 wives, it's history. It's not fake. It's history. So we don't need to romanticize the history. It's just facts. And obviously they're going to try it, but none of the wives were bad. They were both accepting of each other. There might have been a rivalry, but that's natural. Like, there's going to be a rivalry between all wives, but yeah, come on, man. That's what I would say. So did Malik Shah die when Sentra was 6 years old? Yes, he did. But in the show, they portray it as if Malik Shah was 50. No, or 39. No, Malik Shah was 39, sorry. Sentra was 6. He wasn't 20. But I think they just wanted to show like a different type of drama. It's like maybe that. No, he wasn't a hidden son. His mom died. His mom was ousted from the castle, but that was after Malik Shah's death. So they just show a bit of a long thing. Thoughts on KO being the best Dizzy this season? It might be good. I'm hoping with like all my heart that this show is gonna be good. I don't want to just watch another thing where Bala's crying, Osman's dancing with Malhun, and then it's gonna be long. What's your opinion on KO deviating from history? Isn't something that should be strongly discouraged? Okay, I would like to say one thing. History and Osman are two different things. Osman is a show based or with a bit of history. Yeah? History is, most of the time, it's facts. What are the facts that we've seen in Osman so far? Osman married 2 wives. Facts. One of Osman's wives was the daughter of Sheikh Adabali, and the other was the daughter of Umar Bey. Fact. Yeah? Osman Bey became the Bey after his father's death, 1281. Yep. Tick. He started the empire in 1299. We don't even know if that happened. Bye. Assalamu alaikum, Turkish. But we can't just say, like, Ertugrul deviated away from history. They tried to kill Noyan, then bring Noyan back, and then they killed. Ertugrul didn't kill Emir Sadat. They're always, all of these things are just to make the show a better show. And I can understand that. I'm not going to complain. What I have a problem is when it deviates from history, it often makes it a worse show. That's so bye Turkish salam. Oh, don't say bye. Sorry, I won't say bye. But it's like when they're in Ertugrul, for example, they killed the Halima Sultan. Major historical inaccuracy, and it ruined the show. In Osman, they showed Bala and Malhun having like a huge fight. Malhun like a huge inaccuracy as well. Like Noyan probably didn't even meet her. He might have, because when you think of like the Battle of Koso Dag, yes, maybe everything was part of that battle, but really, like, he was a nomadic Turk. Like, you have to weigh up these things. Did Ertugrul really meet Ibn Arabi? Was Ibn Arabi even the thing? Like, we just have to accept that history and Osman and series are different, and that's okay. We watch these shows not because they're going to teach us about history. That's what research is about. We watch these shows because they reinvigorate the pride of Islamic history. They show Ibn Arabi, they show Sheikh Adabali, they show all these characters, which reinvigorate the fact that, hey, Islamic history is quite strong. Islamic history is quite interesting. That's why I like watching these shows. Not because I think that really Turgut Bey is not going to come back in the show, because that's historically true. Like, I watch these shows because it does that, and because there's a historical aspect that makes the show better for people who are like, yeah, this might have actually happened, in history. That's why I enjoy these, really. Like, it's really good to watch them. Like, that's what I would say in response to your question, Humaira, but I think the question's gone all the way up now. There's loads of others. What would you think would happen if the Ottomans managed to survive the loss of World War I and join Hitler in World War II? Then they would have lost World War II. There's no chance in my opinion, that they're winning World War II, that Hitler's side is winning World War II, mainly because their ideology was so false that they were bound to be destroyed from within anyways. No, I didn't even meet until, yeah, probably. I said, but Battle of Kusadag, maybe. I heard that Borak is gonna get Fahriye to set fire to. Fahriye's his wife, right? I think. Yeah, okay, good waffle. Halima dies because she's a crybaby, lol. Malhan looks like the witch from Disney. You're probably a Bala fan, innit? Destur, Sultan Abdul Ahmed. Okay, last question. One more question, please. Be a good question. Anyone, there's 7 people. One person is gonna ask it. And if I find it good enough. Finally, that is a brilliant question. Brilliant question, that. If I read it. Do you think Bayezid, yeah, Bilious Bender, you're gonna get. That's the whole point. He wanted me to say his name, innit? Timeout. Do you think Bayezid would have managed to defeat Timur if he has an army? If he was army was prepared? Okay, I understand what you're trying to say. Yes and no. I would say yes, because then Bayezid would be able to defeat Timur or whatever, but no, because I think the Timurs were really strong at that period of time. The Timurs were really strong. And the Ottomans, yeah, they were rising, Bayezid doubled the empire size, whatever, but the Timurs were too strong to be defeated by a group of Bayezid's Turks. Because even if they had no traitors, even if they were organized, they were prepared, I think the battle was a bit of a shock to them, because they hadn't really the traitors within Bayezid camps. Because do you think that Bayezid didn't have spies in Timur's camps? Of course he did. He had spies everywhere, but they were not good enough, and I think that it wasn't good enough for Bayezid to defeat Timur. And I think that will be it, guys. I'm thankful for everyone who's joined this live. I think we had 10 people at most today. I kind of liked it at the beginning when it was slow paced, but I also liked it when we're getting loads of questions, because then I could keep answering. Humaira's question was really good. I think Osman's question, he asked about, like, why do you think history is so forgotten, Islamic history is so forgotten? So I thank everyone who's joined. Ghost Edits, Turkish Edits, shout out both of you. Reddit, you've asked some brilliant questions as well. Humaira asked great questions, and I think Osman as well. I'm scrolling through the chat to see who's asked. AN Edits as well, obviously, and Arslan, and Astana. Assalamu alaikum, all of you guys. Thank you all for joining. This video won't actually be out. Like, I'll just put it as an unlisted video probably. So thank you all who joined. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.